This is the Miyoo Mini Plus. I just want to start out and give full disclosure that I got sent this for free on Instagram, but that doesn't mean I'm going to hold back. I'm going to be brutally honest in this review and tell you exactly what I think. Now there's some pros and some cons, and I'm going to start out with the pros. It's super cheap. You can get this for under $100. It's actually decently built for something that's, made in China. You wouldn't think it would be built this well, but the buttons, everything feels really good. The screen is actually super nice quality. This is my first time trying out any kind of little emulator like this, so I was really impressed with the screen looking at it for the first time. You can update the operating system and install your own ROMs and all that, so that's really cool. The battery life lasts a long time. There's quite a few different consoles you can play, as you can see. There's arcade ROMs you can play, Famicom games, Game Boy Advance games, Mega Drive or Genesis. They got some Neo Geo. They got PC Engine, Super Famicom, Sega Master System, PS1, and the Wonder Swan Color. So you got a lot of different consoles that this thing can emulate. That's pretty cool. It comes stock loaded with like over 1,000 games or something. Way too many for me to count. I thought that the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive games look really good on this. All the Sonic games, Sonic 1, 2, 3, never had any problems. I was also playing a lot of PS1 games on here, and they look super good too, actually. So now that we've gone over all the pros, let's go over the cons. Now the main con for me, as you can see, is this thing is super tiny. I'm 6'2", I got pretty big hands, and it's like, it's not the most comfortable to play. I can play for it for a bit, but every day, I don't know, my hands might cramp up. It's kind of small for me. If you're a smaller dude, maybe that's fine. But for me, I got pretty big hands. That's kind of the main drawback, I would say. The second thing I noticed was it got these shoulder buttons on the back, which are cool. Most 16-bit or 8-bit games, you don't really need those. But once you start getting into like the PS1 games, where you're playing games like Resident Evil, where you have to hold down one of the shoulder buttons to aim your weapon and then shoot, it can be kind of awkward and like not the most naturally intuitive, let's say. For that reason, the shoulder buttons didn't make those games very fun to play. Another con I would say is that stock out of the box, there was no Mario games, official Nintendo Mario games that you could play. I'm assuming the reason it doesn't have any Mario games preloaded is because they don't want to run into any copyright issues with Nintendo. So that's totally understandable. And like I said, you can upload your own ROMs. But yeah, the two biggest cons I would say for me is that it's, hence the name, the Miyoo Mini. It's super freaking small. But if you're playing for hours on end and you're like somewhat of a bigger person like me, it's not the most comfortable to hold in your hands. The third con I could actually think of is that some of the arcade games wouldn't load. I'm just running the stock operating system on here, but I'm sure if you updated it, maybe you could fix that. I haven't gotten around to updating the operating system and uploading my own ROMs, but I was kind of disappointed. I wanted to play some Super Puzzle Fighter, which is one of my favorite games, but it would not load. So all in all, let's recap. The pros: cheap price, great build, super awesome screen quality, and comes preloaded with like over 1,000 awesome games, and you can emulate about a dozen different consoles, give or take. The cons: the obvious one, super small. Maybe too small for some people. Second con, no preloaded Mario games. Again, I'm just being lazy. That's probably a super easy fix. And the third con was that some of the arcade ROMs aren't loading for me. But, I'm not super techie. Maybe that's just me. And it's probably a super easy fix as well. So all in all, if you're in the market for an old school retro game emulator handheld, this one is super affordable. I think it's a great entry point into the hobby if that's what you're looking for. If you are thinking of getting one of these, please check my link down in the description. Usually they have a little sale on there, and I will get a super small commission of 347 cents. It helps me make more videos like this. Or if you want to be a hater and you don't want to do that, you can just Google search it yourself and not give me any commission. But I don't think you should do that. Click the affiliate link down in the description if you're seriously thinking about buying one of these. Really appreciate it. Thank you for watching the review. I'd also like to go over some of the specs. You can play your ROMs via the micro SD card. The battery life is 7 to 8 hours. The screen is 3.5 inches. You can adjust the screen brightness. Apparently it supports Wi-Fi online, but I have not dove deep enough to figure out how to do that. Inside the box, it comes with a USB key, comes with the instruction manual, and it also comes with a screen protector, which I have not yet installed on mine.